Okay, I just wanted to talk to you guys about something and show you. This is really interesting. You could call it predictions, but I wouldn't call it a prediction because all these people are literally probably all Freemasons and in the Illuminati, and they're all liars and deceivers. And I made this picture here. It just says, "There are no coincidences." Elon Musk posted that on his own Facebook. So I was making a joke out of it, but this stuff is crazy. Here, I'll get to it. Okay, so, there's this book called Project Mars from 1948. I'm going to read you guys the excerpt from it. The Martian government was directed by 10 men, the leader of whom was elected by universal suffrage for 5 years and entitled Elon. 2 houses of parliament enacted the laws to be administered by the Elon and his cabinet. It was written by von Braun in 1948 and was the first technically comprehensive design for such an expedition. The book has been described as the most influential book on planning human missions to Mars. How Mars is governed is the chapter that I got that from. And then I'm just showing here that it is in fact Elon. And then this is the guy who wrote the book. It says he was a space architect and an aerospace engineer. And he was also a Nazi. And he worked for NASA. He was engineering for NASA. Which isn't no surprise, hey, because NASA is literally full of deceivers too. Like, if you look at a bunch of my other videos, there's like tons of proof that these guys are liars. And yeah, this guy's allegiance was to Nazi Germany, of course. And I just find it interesting because I think the whole world is like kind of a stage because they do this all the time. Like, and it's not a prediction. It's not like they're fortune telling or telling the future. Like, it's literally because it's planned. And when people like Elon Musk are born, they're probably like, oh, he will be Elon Musk. Like, he'll fulfill the prophecy and all this shit, right? There's another one that I'm going to show you too that is the exact same thing, but it's about Donald and Barron Trump. In 1950, book Mars Project by a famous rocket scientist, Werner von Braun, said the leader of Mars shall be called Elon, sometimes pulled the original German manuscript out of the archives to debunk this myth, only to confirm that von Braun did indeed predict that he would be called Elon. And then I have all these things saying there's no coincidences again, because really, like, okay, this is the other one, and I'm going to get into it right now. Okay, this is a book. This is an illustration from a book with a character named Barron Trump. And the 3 cartoon pictures or drawn pictures are all from these books that were about a person named Barron Trump. And yeah, he has a dog in the photo, which I thought kind of looked like a beagle. One of the only pictures I can find with Donald Trump is holding a beagle, but apparently he doesn't like dogs. He was gifted a golden doodle as first pet for Barron, but canceled because Trump hates dogs. I just thought that's really interesting, and I thought the boy in the novel like actually does look like Barron Trump. That's just a page I found on Twitter. Trump hates puppies. That's a different project I'm working on, so is that. Okay, in July 2017, the books were rediscovered by internet forum users, and then the media who pointed out similarities between the protagonist and U.S. President Donald Trump. Jamie Fuller wrote in Politico that Barron Trump is precocious, restless, and prone to get in trouble. often mentions his massive brain and has a personalized insult for most people he meets. Fuller also notes that Barron Trump lives in a building named after himself, Castle Trump, while the real-life Donald Trump has lived in Trump Tower for decades. Furthermore, Donald Trump's youngest son is named Barron Trump. Chris Ryota noted in Newsweek that Barron Trump's adventures begin in Russia. Ryota, I don't even know how to say that, I'm sorry, also mentions another book of Ingersoll's 1900 or The Last President, in which New York is riven by protests following the shock victory of a populist candidate in the 1896 presidential election, who brings on the downfall of the American Republic. Sorry, I have hard times reading sometimes. My kid, seriously smashed and cracked up my phone so bad, so sometimes I, can't even see, the words under the smashes. As of July 2017, filmmaker and Trump supporter Lee Scott was reported to plan a crowdsourcing campaign to produce a feature film adaptation of the Barron Trump novels. This collection unites Ingersoll Lockwood's classic Barron Trump adventure stories in one volume. Filled with exotic flights of fancy, the Barron Trump tales feature the titular character, a wealthy boy who lives in Trump Castle. His actual name is Wilhelm Heinrich Sebastian von Trump, but for the sake of simplicity, he goes by the title of Barron Trump. The young fellow embarks on a time-traveling adventures throughout human history, which I find very interesting because this book was written in the late 1800s too. And it seems to be another strange prediction. Through his travels, he meets societies of people and tribes from long ago, picking up their language and social customs. Accompanied by his faithful and projective companion hound Balger, the young Baron navigates a variety of adventures and surmounts many obstacles. The final book discusses the rise of a U.S. president and has been variously described as coincidental or prescient of the 21st century political climate. Anyways, this guy, Ingersoll Lockwood, he was an American lawyer and writer. As a writer, he is particularly known for Barron Trump children's novels. However, he wrote other children's novels as well as the dystopian novel 1900 or The Last President, a play, and several nonfiction works. He wrote some of his most nonfiction under the pseudonym Erwin Longman. See, that's what I find so interesting about this, is he didn't just write one book that predicted things. Like, The Last President seems like it would have been, almost Donald Trump, and all the stuff that's been going on. It's seriously nuts. Okay, so in The Last President, this near-future political satire about the collection of a new president argues that socialism and populism will eventually give rise to chaos and disaster. I feel like this is the stuff that's going on in our world right now. Authored by Ingersoll Lockwood, around whom conspiracy theories concerning the sci-fi fantasy character Barron Trump is now abound. 1900 or The Last President is notable for both its clairvoyance and reflection on the social movements and political climate of his time. You have to understand that these people aren't clairvoyant or predicting anything. They're probably Freemasons, like most famous people are. And, yeah, they probably, just purposely fulfill the prophecies. Most people who join the Illuminati and stuff like that, they have to change their name, right? And I think when they agree, they'll change their name to something that like the fact that Elon Musk is on the Mars one. That's not a coincidence. Anyways, I just went off there. Authored by Ingersoll Lockwood, around whom I already read that. Oh yeah, and it was published in 1896. That's nuts. Set in America, torn by divisions, there are references to a hotel on Fifth Avenue in New York and an election of an outsider candidate ensuing amid chaos. That's not say. The entire east side of New York City is in a state of uproar. Mobs of vast size are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. Sorry. 1900 or The Last President by Ingersoll Lockwood is a surrealistic novel where Americans are protesting a corrupt election process. Wow, that is like right now. While the president's hometown in New York City is fearing the collapse of the republic. Just so you know, like, fucking voting has always been a fraud. Like, I'm sorry to say, and I know most people take it seriously, but, I mean, like, everyone who's in positions of power are there for a reason, and they make you seem like you have a choice, but you honestly don't. Okay. What did I do? Oh. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna start that again. 1900 or The Last President by Ingersoll Lockwood is a surrealistic 1896 novel where Americans are protesting a corrupt election process while the president's hometown in New York City is hearing the collapse of the republic. The transition of presidential power. If this reminds you of the attitudes after the 2016 Trump presidential win, you are not alone. No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's more so what's going on, like, right now. During 2017, this book, as well as Lockwood's two children books, The Travels and Adventures of Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger, and Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey 1893, drew attention due to its uncanny connection with President Trump and his family. Sorry, I'm trying to read under the cracks, and it keeps doing that. Does this book foresee Donald Trump as the last president of a Republican? I can't read that. I'm so sorry. Is this bizarre coincidence or prophetic? Let the reader decide. See, and I don't think it's a coincidence because there's no such thing as a coincidence, right? There really isn't. Like, and it may be prophetic in a way, but in a way where they, like, purposely used people to fill it out. Lockwood published his first novel, Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump, and his wonderful dog Bulger in 1889, and its sequel, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, in 1893. The novels recount the adventures of the German boy Wilhelm Heinrich Sebastian von Trump, who goes by Baron Trump as he discovers weird underground civilizations, offends the natives, flees from his entanglements with local women, and repeats this pattern until arriving back home at Castle Trump. The Baron Trump novels are two children's novels written in 1889 and 1893 by the American author and lawyer Ingersoll Lockwood. They remained obscure until 2017 when they received media attention for perceived similarities between their protagonist and U.S. President Donald Trump. Yeah, see, that's nuts. And I just wanted to tell you quick, you guys, I have this app called Hoopla. I don't know if you guys can use Hoopla because it's like, like, it's connected with, the library, like, in my own city, but I'm pretty sure it connects with any library. So if you have a library card, download an app called Hoopla, and you can find all of these books on here. The little cartoon pictures are on the front of the Baron Trump novels, and the picture that looks drawn is from it too. Yeah. See, you can see the books, I put them there, and the Marvelous Underground Journey and stuff. You can find all that stuff on Hoopla. I'm sure you can even just download PDFs if you're intrigued, but, and then, yeah, The Last President, you can find that one too. These are literally from the 1800s, like, that's nuts, man. Anyways, I think that was it. Both really, really weird stuff, right?